Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'm going to talk about financial planning, the impact of taxation and financial efficiency. Okay? I expect a nice journey in this chapter, okay? Because it is a friendly chapter comparing with the chapter 2 and chapter 1. Okay? So, there is a lot of enjoyment in this chapter. The roadmap of this chapter, the first things will know about the financial goals. Each one has his or her financial goals. And as I explained in chapter 1, the financial goals influence on the investment style. Then we will talk about the individual balance sheets and what the individuals have, what they owe, what they own, and the cash budget of the investors or for the individuals. Then I will talk about the importance of asset allocation. If you have $1,000, how you allocate $1,000 into different asset classes. And we will study the impact of tax on the investment decisions. We will know about the capital gains and capital losses. And finally, about the market efficiency or the price efficiency. This is our focus on this chapter. The first things, we'll talk about the goals of financial the goals and financial objectives. Okay? Before starting or talking about the goals, let's talk about the process of financial planning. The process of financial planning starting by setting goals. I think I explained this in chapter 1. Okay? Then we will talk about the asset allocation, the taxation. Setting goals. People have different goals. Then from the goals we have asset allocation. Asset allocations, it means allocate your investments into different asset classes. What are these asset classes? Including the stocks, bonds, treasury bills, commodities, currencies, etc. Some authors classify asset classes into, for instance, short-term classes, short-term and long-term. Others classified into high-risk assets and lower-risk assets. For instance, the bonds considered as lower risk assets. The derivatives considered as high risk assets. Okay, so the first things in the setting goals, the specification of investment goals. Let's go back to talk about goals. You should first know about your goals. When you are going to the investment services, asking to invest your money or asking some consultation from the brokerage services, they have to know about your specific goals. If you mislead them, then you have a wrong decision in terms of your investment style. The first thing, the capacity to meet financial emergencies. People need goals, need investment for the financial emergencies in the future.
Yes.
Then you may need for specific future purchases, maybe to buying homes or for education. The provision for income retirement. Some people, they design their investment for retirement because, as we will explain, we have 3 stages of the life cycle. The first one, when you have low income, comparing with the expenses and higher income relative to the expenses, and then lower income relative to your expenses. When you are in your early stages, you spend more than what you earn. Then in the second life of your stages, it means between 20s to 30s or 20s to 40s, you have higher income relative to the expenses. And when you are in 50 or 60 years old, your expenses greater than your... So the investment provided a channel to you to how to manage this life cycle. When you are in 60 years old, you should be manage these things when you was in 20s or 30s. You don't need to wait when you become 60s and say, oh, okay, where is my money and things. This is the important, and most of people looking to invest their money for retirement purposes. The ability to leave a sizable estate to heirs or to charity. Some people, they looking for having a particular income for charity things. Others, they are looking for speculation. And I explained in the previous chapters the difference between speculation and risk. Yeah. Speculation is related to the return.
Yes.
People are looking for return when they are invest their money. And the thing is, the difference between the speculation or the receive enjoyment with the gambling. When you talk about enjoyment, you are talking about gambling. So some people, they managed their investment for the purpose of speculation, for the purpose of gambling. So this is the goals is connected with the financial life cycle. Okay, as I explained, the life cycle when you are a little boy or a little girl till 16 years old or 18 years old, you are spending. You are not earning money, and your dad and mom spending money to you. Okay, giving the money. And you don't have any channel to invest. Then when you grow up in your 30s or 20s, 30s, 40s, الورا بيحكوا يعني انتوا بيسمعين صوتي طيب اوكي نعلي الصوت طيب So let's start from the very beginning about goals. The goals, each one has his or her goals. It depends on what she wants. For instance, big investors seeking speculation and gambling. But if we talk about employed people, or people working in government sector, or working with the UNRWA, or any private sectors, they have different goals. The investment style tend to be investment in retirement, not investment in speculation or in gambling. And this investment style or these goals are linked with the financial cycle. Financial life cycle. As I explained, when you are very young, you are spending more than what you earn. Then when you are in the 20s or mid-20s to 30s, 40s, your income is greater than what you spend. And when you are old guy, doing the you don't have things to do. It means in this case you earn less than you're spending. Okay, again, In terms of economy or investments, when you are in less than 20s or mid-20s, your income is less than what you spend. In mid-20s till 40s, for instance, your income is greater than what you spend. In let's see, late of 40s till 60s, 70s, your spending is greater than your income. People in face of this challenge, because income is not stable and is fluctuated according to your life cycle, so what you earn in your mid-age, you should invest, because the time is coming when you don't have things to earn. So the investment is working as a channel to save the purchasing power, or to save the money for the future concern. This is the importance of investments. If we don't have investments, so we don't have a channel, this channel gives you opportunity for the future. So the financial life cycle, the stages of life during which individuals accumulates the income and subsequently use financial as a period of accumulation. In this time, the income is less than the spending. You are spending more than what you earn. A period of preservation, it means what you earn is greater than what you spend, and this is the opportunity to invest. Okay? In the third period of the use of depletion of the investor's asset sets. What it means, what you invest in the asset in the past when you was in your mid-20s, 30s, 40s, you take them when you are in the 50s, 60s. Okay? Because in this time, you are no longer generate the income. So the income is coming from what you save or what you invest.
What's the difference between the period of accumulation and the preservation?
Yeah, the period of accumulation, it means in your life you're preparing yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay? You are spending more than what you earn. Okay? Because you are under heavily demanded of life. You need to buy a house. You need to get married. You need to have a certificate, education, many things in your life.
Okay.
So the demand is more than what the supply is. I mean the demand on the money. You demand on the money more than what you have. And in this time, it's important to manage or to plan about your life. But the second stage is the most important stage in your life. Okay?
The best time to invest.
Yeah, because the income is, in this case, or the cash flow, or the cash inflow is greater than the cash outflow. Okay? And decide which period you are in this. In which period you are now? Accumulation. And do you manage to the next period? What do you think about the next period? What are the where do you spend your money in the first stage? Where do you spend them?
Education, clothes.
Education. What else?
Clothes, transportation.
Shopping.
Yes, enjoyment. You.
Yes.
Traveling.
Traveling.
What else? Okay. Another question: the sources of doing this. Do you think?
Our parents.
Yeah, dads and mom.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Any people have different financial sources other than dad and mom?
No.
of us.
Okay, what this working? I mean, in this time, in your age. In your age.
Some people they work.
Some people they work.
Yeah, some people will.
But they spend it in education.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that the majority of people or all people have fund from their dad and mom.
Yes.
No. How many people have fund from? It means 100% dad and mom. 100%. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means the majority, yeah? Okay, how many people they depend or independent? See, independent. They don't get fund from mom and dad.
Maybe for boys, not for us.
Not necessarily.
In other countries, it's easy to get a job while you are you are in your education.
I know some stories from people in the in bachelor degree, even ladies or females. Yesterday I asked one of the students why you came late, and she said I gave some tutors to the student, and I asked her what are these subjects, what are these subjects you are giving to the student. She said physics, mathematics, English. And I know, yes, her mom and dad contribute in her life, but she decided to be independent. Why I'm asking these questions? Because it's important and influence on your financial resources. When you are going to the investments of brokerage or brokerage services, they're asking you what are your financial resources, and it's important. It is not necessarily depend on your age. Yes, we classified based on their age, but because the majority of people they were doing this. But the business people, they have different criteria. They have different things. The business skills is born with people. Maybe in their 5 years old, people try to trade with the kids, okay, and these skills is grow up with them. What I'm just want to tell you, despite all these classifications, some people they have financial resources in early stages, and their income is more than their spending. And this is the good things, because in your early stages, you can manage things. You don't have a very heavily demand things, particularly when you are in let's see, 15 years old to 20 years old. This time of period is important, and in this time you need to have skills. Particularly, you are in the business school. In business school, people have to skill themselves in how to get finance or how to get fund. It's related to it's like painting skills. The buying and selling is a skill, or investment is a skill. So what I'm going to do to talk about these stages, it is not necessarily to go from to the end. Some people starting from the second, okay, and others starting from the end. It means, generally speaking, they have more spends than what they earns. And our life is characterized by broken. They have a broken life. Okay, it is. We build this model based on the rational. To what extent people are rational when they are invest their money. If you want to be more rational, you should think to make this period more investment or more saving than what you earn. Okay. And I know ladies, they have skills in these things, because when they have the allowances from their dad and mom, they save this aside, and then they spend this in the Mother Day, for instance.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the importance of the goals. Any question? Okay. Any question in the 3 stages? Okay. So if I ask you about the first stage, what it means? First stage. Sorry?
Stage of a preparation. We start to prepare our funds for things we want to make in the future. For education.
Regarding to the cash inflow and cash outflow.
We have inflow less than outflow.
Say it again, please.
Yes. No.
Cash outflow is greater than cash inflow.
Less than, yes.
Okay. Where do you spend the cash outflow? Where do you spend the cash outflow then? Education, traveling, okay, enjoyment, because you don't have kids,
Yes.
so you have a space to enjoy, okay. And when you grow up, then you have many things to do. Okay. Individual environments and financial resources. Financial planning, because the title of this chapter related to the financial planning. The financial planning requires an analysis of the individual's environments and financial resources. Okay, this is very important to people. Individual environments and financial resources. Let's see in the individual environments. This is the guy. We should know about his environment or her environments. Do you think about the environments of people? Individual environments. Economic situation, social status then. How many brothers and sisters you have? Okay, let's see your education. If you inherit something from the grands, and as we explained, social, economic, the culture, the politics. Well, what are other things in the individual environments? To what extent the individual environment influence on the investment style? If you talk about the economic system, if you have advanced financial markets, so you have a channel to invest your money. If you don't have advanced financial markets, you don't have that appropriate channel or efficient channel to invest. About the community, about your culture, about so many things we should consider when we are talking about the individual environments. The community is closed-minded or open-minded. You are living in the open, let's see, open community or the closed community. You are allowed to work or not. You have the freedom and the democracy in the economic system. Okay, your dad and mom accept to work in the companies. Okay, so there are many questions. Can you take your decision? You are independent when you are taking your decision. How many people are independent? Okay, so it means can you open your business? This is from the culture things. If you decide to open a business, it's easy to open this business?
No.
How many people say yes and how many people say no? This criteria is examining to what extent we have a friendly individual environment in terms of business and investments. Okay? So we have many questions to determine whether the individual environment is helping you to invest or just keeping you away from the investment style. Sorry? If you decide to open business, can you easily open this?
No.
Okay, why no?
Needs fund planning.
Except of the don't talk about fund. I'm talking about your social issues, about culture issues. Family accept this?
Yes. Depends.
Okay, how many people, family or dad and mom, brothers and sisters, let's see, enforce you to do business? You know, it means not just encouraging, but enforcing you. It's like, okay, nice. They motivate you to do this business. Okay, how many? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 30, 35. Okay, so this is individual. This is the individual environment. Some people, they have a motivation from their family to open the business, and this is important when you go to the investment companies and asking you and analyze your individual environments. Okay, can you easily deal with the people outside the? Can you easily?
No.
What are these limitations?
Experience.
We know business ladies, successful business ladies, and they have a successful business.
Different
And even they
cultures.
are religious people. It's not related to the let's see, male or female. It's related to you. Okay, if you have your limitations, if you have your criteria, you set and you're asking people to follow this and to respect the things in your individual environments. And then these environments includes your age, okay, your health, employment, family, okay, etc. And I ask you many questions about your family, about the employment. You have equal treatment in the business, males and females. You have equal treatment based on the organization level. People they practice openness. They contribute in taking decisions. In addition to environment, the investor should take an accurate account of financial resources. Now about the financial resources. When we evaluate your investment style, as explained before, the goals, then the resources, what you have. The resources not include the fund that you have, but also the environment that you live, because this may empower you to do your business. But if your family have their issues in keeping you away from the business, okay, it means you don't have that capacity to invest. And again, it's not necessarily you are male or female. Maybe some families they prevent the males to take risk in the investment. I'm not talking about the gender issues here. I'm talking about the attitudes of the business families. Okay, I read about the business family. The majority of the business, even in European and the United States, is generated from the family based. So this is why it's important to have an orientation from your family to generate a business. Again, it's not gender issues. And this is considered one of the main resources of doing business and doing investments. Okay, we should talk about the financial resources. What are your financial resources? You can talk in general. People have different financial resources. Okay, donation. Okay. Loans, yes. Loans. Saving, yeah, saving.
Salaries.
The salaries, they are employed people. Salaries. Okay, what else? Huh? You can talk. Some people, they have, they inherit
Yes.
from their grands or heritage. Okay. Inherits things, buildings,
Fixed
okay,
assets.
business. In your textbook, you can, in page 97, you see the financial resources, different financial resources, okay, and different classes. This is in general. You can think in the financial resources what you own and what you owe.
Yes.
Okay? You may have equity, and here you may have loans or liabilities. Each one should have, like what companies do in balance sheets. They should have like a balance sheet to determine the financial resources. So in the balance sheets for companies, this side considered as a financial resources. Yes. So the financial resources includes, from the company's perspective, include the liabilities.
And the equity.
Liabilities, we have long-term liabilities and we have short-term liabilities and equity.
Yeah.
Okay? In this side, as a financial resources, we invest in this side.
Yeah.
So this is investment part of the balance sheets. So the balance sheets includes two parts. In your right-hand side is the financial resources. In your left-hand side is the investment opportunities, which includes the short-term investments and long-term investments. This is in general understanding and from the investment point of view. We are talking about the balance sheet from the investment point of view. We are not talking from the accounting point of view. If you talk from the accounting point of view, we have the liabilities and equity in this side, and we have the assets in this side. From the investments point of view, this is investment. You invest in short term in the cash, in the inventory, and in the long term, you are investing in the fixed assets. From your personal point of view, where your financial resources is spending. If you have a particular amount of money, you should invest this in building, for instance, in the business, and the investments. Okay, you keep focused on two things in terms of finance: the financial resources, from where you get the financial resources, and how you spend them.
Revenue
You spend them in your short-term activities. You need to cover your tuition fees. You need to have license, driving license, and etc. In addition to this, if you have extra fund, you may invest them to buy car, or to do a business, or to buy a building or home or other things. So things in this way. If I ask you to do like a financial plan or the balance sheet to yourself, and see the money that you earn and how you spend them. Okay? The majority of people, they have short-sighted. They have short-sighted. What it means short-sighted, it means they consider the investment in a very short period of time. They don't think to save money for the future purpose or to move to the investments. Look at this. If this is the liabilities plus equity, and here is the assets. Here is the financial resources. The more you invest in this side, this is a long-term investment, the more you can earn in the future. Okay? And this side. Because this is the channel of your investment. Okay? So let's deconstruct the balance sheets. And you may go back and to ask some people older than you and to design a balance sheet for them. I don't need to have accurate figures and numbers. Just give titles like this. You talk about the liabilities plus equity, for instance. You have short-term liabilities. You ask people whether they have short-term liabilities or not. Okay? And you can categorize the short-term liabilities. You can go to the page 97 and you have a good understanding of these things. Then you may ask them about long-term liabilities. Why are you starting by liabilities? Because the source of finance is most important. If you don't have or you don't develop the financial resources, you don't have the capacity to invest your money. Okay? And the long-term liabilities, then you talk about the equity. This is in terms of liability. Okay, for the assets, we have the current assets, including liquidity, cash, etc. Then you talk about the tangible assets, which is fixed assets, including tangible assets and intangible assets. Okay? So this is exactly what we mean, the financial resources. The financial resources and the investments. In the past, the investment theory or the financial theory depend on one hand side. May focus on the left side or in the right side. But the new theories in finance and investment, they are focusing on both the liabilities and the investments and the assets. Okay? So this is the balance sheets. We may design a balance sheet for yourself or for the company or for anyone you want. In this case, you know what they own and what they owe. Did you think about this before? I mean, you have like this paper and write what I have and what... Because this is important in planning. In this year, if you don't have, maybe in next year you will have. How many people think to develop their financial resources? Okay, just only 1, 2, 3. Why you don't think to develop your financial resources? Huh? I will give you the majority of wealthy people they are not starting with the golden spoon. Okay, they are not born with the golden spoon. From the early stages, they think to develop their financial resources. Okay, and from this point, when they think we have to develop this, they are starting the business. But if you don't have the idea of this, it means you don't start the business. Okay, I'm not asking about the employment. I'm talking about the investments or the business. Doing business is not employment.
Yes.
Doing business is to invest your financial resources into items or classes that may generate income in the future.
Yes.
Okay? And there is no conflict between employment and the investment and the doing business. Some people, they have a prestigious employment position, and in the same time they are doing investment.
Yes.
Okay? So think on this way, and many people in your age, they are doing this. You can't. I may give you example like the Michele Platini. He was one of the well-known players, and in that time when he was in his 14 years old, he think, okay, how can I generate income? How can I generate financial resources? And he did the business in the sport. He joined the club, the sporting club, have a training, and things then become a very skilled player in the world. Okay, you have many examples in this life. Okay, so after the balance sheet, it's important to talk about the cash budget. What it means, cash budget?
To anticipate what the cash in the future years will be. Anticipation for the.
So you expect for the future.
Cash flows.
Yeah. So from where the cash coming from? Okay. So the cash receipts.
Yes.
And
Cash pay.
from there where you spend the cash, this is the cash disbursement.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cash receipts. Okay, and cash disbursement. Okay. So next year, we are in the early time of the 2015. Okay, you should be think before in 2014 about the 2015.
Yes.
But still you have time. You may think for the second half of 2015. In the second half of 2015, you should think in this way. The cash receipts. Okay, what items of the cash receipts?
All collections
And the cash
disbursement.
Okay, disbursement. So again, we are talking about the individual's environment because the majority of the business is originating from the individual. If the individual, they don't have the investment skills, doing a business skills, it means they don't have the fund to the company. Okay? As I said, the majority of business is starting from the little stones. The little stones is the individual.
Yes.
Okay? And the mutual funds is formed from the individuals. People paying just $100, $200, and to invest in the mutual funds. Okay? So we talk about the balance sheet and the cash budget. Any question in the balance sheet and cash budget? Do you think to do cash budget for you? Anyone? Or you are managing day-to-day business or day-to-day disbursements.
Week to week.
Do you do it like this?
Weekly.
Okay, if the summer is coming or the spring is coming, okay? Do you think how to invest in spring, because you need time, you need money in spring. Okay, you may travel or you may have some business in the spring. Do you think how to generate to do cash budget for the spring or for summer?
We can save some of our.
Do you think in this way? Let's see. For instance, I know some people and some girls as well. They are doing business during their education life. No, not for summer, because they manage to travel, so they have to save some money. Okay, and in your age, you have opportunities to do this. Let's talk about some of my previous experience. I observe, particularly for the students, okay, they can do a private tutors for themselves. You know how my student attended this class? How many absent? How many students are on the edge? You know what it means, on the edge? Yes. So it's a good investment. Come on, students. You can write in your Facebook, okay, I can do some private tutor for you. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the students between themselves. They give them examples, how to answer questions, and it's a good business. I mean, because we have some moms in this meeting, and they don't have time. They are not attending this class, and we have good students. They have a good understanding. They can do this job. Sorry? It's business. Take it or leave it. You can do some social contribution. You have some social contribution. Okay? Not social contribution. Okay, it's fine because you are mom and blah blah blah. I may discount 30% for you. Okay? Again, I'm talking the business for you, not for me. Okay? So this is important. If some people they have challenges in understanding particular subjects, and this is legalized in the UK and in the United States and managed by the university.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are queuing, asking these services. You know this?
We do have this, guys.
Sorry?
We do have this because I go to education center and give lectures.
Yeah, but between students, I don't observe this. Okay, maybe some students they don't like to disseminate the knowledge. Maybe it's up to them. But it's again,
Yeah.
it's a good business. Okay. So the first things we talk about the goals.
Yes.
And the goals is linked with the life cycle of people, of the financial life. Then the financial life cycle is linked with the financial resources. Now the asset allocation. Asset allocation is the process of determining what proportion of the portfolio should be invested in various classes of assets, which is determined by investment policy, market timing, asset selection. Let's define what it means, asset allocation. Asset allocation. Asset allocation is to decide how much to invest in different asset classes. The asset classes includes equity. This is in general. We have equity and we have debts. This is in general.
How much to?
Equity is classified into common stocks, and the preferred stocks. Debts, we have loans, bonds. This is in terms of long-term securities or long-term classes. We have equity, we have debts. Some people, they prefer to invest in equity. Others prefer to invest in debts. We have a criteria of equity and the criteria of debts. In terms of short, we have long-term and short-term. We explain the long-term. Huh?
What?
Short-term. In the short-term, generally short-term, the short-term instruments or tools generally is characterized like debts. Okay? Debts. Including treasury bills. It's governmental bills. We have commercial paper. Okay. We have certificate of deposits. Certificate of deposits. Okay. What else? We have euro dollar. What else? We have repurchase agreements, repos. We have SDRs, special drawing rights.
Special drawing rights.
اختصار short term debts. Repurchase agreements. Repurchase repos. You should prepare this chapter because it's important, huh? Chapter 3. Okay. So SDR, special drawing rights. Special drawing rights. When you go home, please Google them. Okay. So again, we have treasury bills, which is governmental securities, commercial paper, certificate of deposits, euro dollar, repurchase agreements, special drawing rights. Okay. So the asset allocation include various classes of assets. The big question is to invest in long term or in short term. Okay, in long term. If it is in long term, in which instruments? In long term liabilities or in the equity? Okay, if you talk about equity, in preferred stocks or in the common stocks?
Depends on our investment goal.
Investment goals.
It depends on first things is in your goals.
Yes.
So your goals design the asset allocation. But if you don't have a determined goal, it means you are misleading yourself. We have other investment styles or investment classes, which is a combination of these classes, a combination of the long-term, short-term,